morning on Bries TV.
I sit down with our very own Matt Wyrick and Madison Haynes to discuss their Bries article about JMU's handling of an ongoing sexual assault case.
Plus, Mother Nature takes a hit on a local beekeeper's honey business.
And up-and-coming local music artist Josh Turner joins us live in the studio.
Starting right now on Bries TV.
Live from the Allison B. Parker Studio in the School of Media Arts and Design at James Madison University, this is Bries TV.
Good morning, JMU. I'm Matt Wyrick.
And I'm Olivia Gerald. Thanks for joining us on this year's last episode of Bries TV. We begin today's show with a controversial story that has been going around the university over the past week. It involves sophomore Caroline Whitlow, who participated in a JMU study abroad program last summer, during which she was allegedly sexually assaulted by another JMU student in the program. After frequently running into her alleged attacker on campus during the fall semester, she decided to report it to the university. Her hearing with the Office of Student Accountability and Restorative Practices was held on March 28th, where the accused was found not responsible. Whitlow has since appealed the decision, and the hearing is scheduled for next Wednesday, April 25th. Bries TV's Caitlin Merriman is live on the quad to tell us more about the silent protest against sexual violence, which was organized in response to Whitlow's case. Caitlin, what can you tell us about how many people are out on the quad right now?
About right now, there's about 40 protesters out here, but according to that protesting Facebook page, that amount should increase to about 300.
And what is the energy like out there? What is the feel, the environment?
Yeah, so as more protesters come, that emotion is just running wild. They are silent, but you can definitely feel. Also, all the protesters are wearing teal to represent Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
And what is the ultimate goal here, Caitlin? What do the students want to see happen next?
Yeah, so I spoke with some of the protesters, and they told me that what they hope to happen is that the administration admit that JMU needs change. Great.
Well, we will definitely be coming to you throughout the show for more developments. Good to see you out there on the quad covering the protest. Joining us now in the studio are Matt Wyrick and Madison Haynes, the two reporters who wrote last week's front page article of the Bries. This story, if you didn't know, was first sparked controversy after the publication on BuzzFeed outlined Whitlow's case, but the article has since been taken down. Hi, Matt and Madison. Thank you for coming out. I guess first, can you tell me about the process you guys took in writing this article?
Yeah, so we actually started writing it about 4 months ago. It was kind of a broad OSARP article, but then we saw Caroline Whitlow's Facebook post that went viral about her process and how she just wasn't really happy with how it was going, and then we kind of just went from there.
So did you, Caroline came to you or you went to her? It was all sparked from that Facebook post?
Yes, we went to her after seeing the post. We've been doing some research into sexual assault cases throughout the semester. It's been a couple month-long project, and when we saw Caitlin's post, we thought, we can see what's going on here and see if that might be representative of the situation, and it turned out it was. So we took her story, and she stepped forward, let us use her name, and we kind of went from there.
So your article actually came out the day after the BuzzFeed article was posted. So emotions were high regarding the case. I think everyone could feel that around campus. What kind of responses have you received after publishing the article?
I mean, not a lot. Personally, I haven't received any emails necessarily. I mean, we've sat down and talked to Bill Wyatt, the university spokesperson, and Wendy Lushbaugh, the director of OSARP. But so far, we haven't received, as far as we go, much feedback. Nobody's really been talking to us. It's more of what we've been seeing kind of going around in the JMU community.
Mm-hmm. So it's been about a week since your article was posted, a little bit over a week. What new developments are there to this story?
Well, JMU did issue an apology to Caroline, which we are releasing a story today or tomorrow about that. So more information on that will be in that story. But that's pretty much the only other update besides the protest today.
Great, sorry, my thing almost fell. And Did you guys have any hesitations going forward with this? It is a sensitive, controversial topic. You are a student-run publication. Did you have any wariness or anything?
I mean, we stuck to the facts. That was the biggest thing. Was, you know, we aren't analysts. We're reporters. We're here to tell the story as it's being, you know, presented to us. We fact-checked everything that we could. Made sure that nothing that was put into the article was, you know, our opinion. It was all what exactly was this FERPA law that the violation could have occurred, what was said in the email, because we obtained copies of separate emails that we were allowed to publish. So everything that we included was either a verbatim quote or pulled from information that was given to us.
You mentioned the FERPA law. That is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. Can you just elaborate on like what the issue there is, just in case people don't know?
Yeah, I mean, the big issue here is what constitutes an educational record. Now, is an email sent between a student and a member of OSARP considered confidential, and can that be spread to other people within the university, because other departments outside of OSARP receive that email? And so that was our question, was that a breach of FERPA? And when we consulted lawyers, we talked to several different legal advisors about this, and they were up in the air about what exactly is a legal record, an educational record, because there is no concrete definition. It's kind of left up for interpretation. So JMU's interpretation might be different from Caroline and her attorneys, but it's not up to us to decide which is which. We just put down, the lawyers say that it's up for interpretation. There's a certain way you can perceive it this way, a certain way you can perceive it that way, but it's all outlined in the article.
Okay, and you guys have followed up on this story. We're all students here. We all read the Bries. Why should we trust you in your reporting when you really only have a limited amount of access to what you guys can get? You're going to be following up with this story. Why should we students trust in the Bries as a student-run publication?
As reporters, it's our job to provide correct, accurate information to the public. That's who we serve, is the public. And if we have information and we have proof of certain facts, it's our job to deliver those to the public in a clear way and analyze those facts. You mentioned not having both sides. While Caroline's case is closed because she's under appeals, this is about a broader subject, and I feel like it reaches a wider audience than just JMU, and it's our job to kind of report on that.
And JMU did publish an op-ed in the Bries in the opinion section this past week where they outlined their stance on sexual assault and the resources they offer to help allegedly victims come forward and to receive help and things like that. So we definitely gave JMU a platform to speak. We had, like I said, an interview with them, several opportunities for them to give statements. Now, FERPA law does say that JMU cannot comment on specific cases, and so as far as Caroline's case goes, JMU can't say anything about her, but they can talk about overarching policies and things like that. And they've talked about how some of the things that the protesters out there are talking about, some major changes they want, is for a time limit to be set on OSARP's decision-making process. How long can an actual process take? They want stricter penalties for people who are found responsible, including expulsion for those found responsible for rape. And the panel to have better vetting in terms of who can be on an OSARP panel. Do you have to be a psychologist or a lawyer or something along those lines where you actually have some kind of background in these kinds of cases? And those are the three big hitters that they're looking for to make change in the protests. And JMU has said that they're willing to sit down and have a dialogue and are very open to making changes for next year if needed.
Awesome. Well, I know that the end of the semester is soon upon us, but we are looking forward to any new developments that you guys can come up with. And thank you for taking the time to talk about your article and to give insight into what this case really is about, because it does affect everyone here at JMU. But we will be following the case and following the protests with Caitlin Merriman throughout the show, getting more developments from her. So stay tuned for that when we come back, and we'll have more stories for you.
This is Bries TV.
The National Weather Service has confirmed that an EF3 tornado struck Lynchburg with maximum wind speeds of 135 miles per hour. The tornado traveled a path of over 20 miles last Sunday. The damage caused by the tornado led Governor Ralph Northam to declare a state of emergency the following day. According to a press release from the city of Lynchburg, American Electric power crews are continuing their work to clear debris from the streets. The city is requesting that motorists use caution in the work zones.
If you are a wino, you might want to reconsider how much you buy, as China recently placed a tariff on wine. Senior reporter Caitlin Merriman has more about the impact here in the Valley. Caitlin?
25% tariff on wine in retaliation to Trump placing a tariff on steel and aluminum. Cross Keys Vineyard is one of the top wineries in the area, but this vineyard is an estate-grown winery, so they have a different feel for the recently placed tariff.
We actually don't export or import any grapes here yet, so it actually hasn't affected us in any way currently.
Though it might not have a direct effect on Cross Keys, those visiting who might purchase wine elsewhere are.
If I'm in the store, maybe it does make a difference. $15 versus an $18 bottle, I would make that decision.
But wine is not the only American product that China has placed a tariff on. There are tariffs on 128 American-made products. Reporting for Bries TV in Harrisonburg, I'm Caitlin Merriman.
The city of Harrisonburg has partnered with the Novak Consulting Group to gather community member perspectives about the qualities the community is looking for in the next police chief. The survey, which can be found on the Harrisburg website until April 30th, is open to the public in an effort to invite all members of the Harrisburg area to voice their opinions. The results of the survey will be released to the city manager and police chief finalists. City officials hope to hire a police chief by July 2018. Winter may be officially over, but the lingering cold weather is turning deadly for some honeybees and beekeepers in the valley who are dealing with the consequences.
Bries TV reporter Madison Haynes shows us how a local beekeeper is making the most of a tough situation.
Harrisonburg beekeeper Tom Knapp has spent the past 7 years cultivating his beekeeping business, Knapp's Bees.
Hi, girls. Good morning. I got a book called Beekeeping for Dummies. True story. And I read up that winter. My kids bought me a package of bees that spring, and that's what I started with, was one package of bees.
This winter, a majority of his hives were killed due to the cold, leaving him with only a few colonies remaining.
Going into this fall, I had 13 hives total. The one in my office, one in my yard, and then 11 others, and I lost a total of 8 of my 13 hives this winter.
Knapp sells honey locally, and a lack of bees is halting honey production. In order to produce honey, Knapp relies on his bees repopulating this year.
If I don't have overwintering bees, it's going to take me longer to get enough bees back to fill the hives to garnish more honey.
However, Knapp's hives are on the mend. He enjoys the challenge of beekeeping and sees it as a hobby.
It would be devastating if I lost more than half of my hives every year and I was trying to make an income off of it, but it's just for fun for me.
For beekeepers across the nation, it's not unusual to lose hives each season. But Knapp hopes to keep his business buzzing more and more each year. Reporting for Bries TV, I'm Madison Haynes.
Coming up after the break, Starbucks announces all company-owned stores nationwide will close for the day later next month amid its recent scandal.
And Bries TV senior reporter Caitlin Merriman shows us the dangers of distracted driving.
This is Bries TV.
Welcome to Bries TV Sports Wrap. I'm Kevin Rahm. After JMU men's golf spent last weekend qualifying for the CAA championships, the starting 5 for the Dukes in the team event are Shota Izaki, Matt Cowgill, Ignacio Montero, Ben Tucker, and Walker Kress. The Dukes have had some issues on the green so far in this spring season, and the inconsistency has prevented JMU from clinching a first-place finish. Now in his final season, senior Matt Cowgill is ready not to just win a regular season tournament, but to finally clinch his first CAA championship.
We're yet to get a ring, a conference ring, and I think this is probably my best chance out of the 3 years I've been here. The team's feeling good. We're all really excited. I feel like our games are in good spots. We've had some strong rounds, but we haven't been able to put 54 holes together.
If we play well, we're making putts. If we play poorly, we haven't been putting very well. Their short games are in good shape. It's just we need to make sure that we can make those putts at the end.
The Dukes round 1 is already underway in North Carolina at Lonnie Pool Golf Club. When national championships are talked about on campus, usually it's JMU football getting all the recognition. Bries TV's Sammy Seaton joins us to highlight the crowning of another Dukes team.
For For the Dukettes, 7 months of hard work all came down to a 2-minute jazz performance on stage, a performance that would earn them the national title.
The environment was just absolutely amazing. We had a really great mindset this year, and I think part of that was we didn't have a coach this entire year, so just making it to Daytona was a huge accomplishment for us.
With their coach resigning just weeks before the season began, the older members took it upon themselves to lead their team. Despite all the adversity, they were ready to compete.
Honestly, I can say I've done this 4 years now, and this past year was the first year I didn't actually feel nervous. I felt excited, I felt happiness, joy. I was just so ready to do it.
From Harrisonburg, Virginia, James Madison University.
Since 2015, the Dukettes have won 3 national titles and earned a second-place finish. For a program with so much success, they aren't letting it get to their heads.
I can just say that we can hope for another exciting year and hopefully another successful season.
For the Bries TV in Harrisonburg, I'm Sammy Seaton.
Thanks, Sammy. JMU lacrosse continues to be the hottest spring team. The Dukes are 13-1 on the season and remain ranked 4th in the nation. But Wednesday, JMU traveled to take on UVA, the 17th-ranked Cavaliers. They have won the last 6 meetings between the in-state foe. The Dukes got off to a quick start against the Hoos, scoring the first 5 goals. There's the first of 4 on the day for Hannah Haven, and the only other player that scored more than her, Kristen Gaudian. She scored 5 to continue her insane season. She's now got upwards of 50 goals. That's a new record for JMU sports. But the UVA Hoos, they would also come ready to play. There's Casey Bear scoring one of her 3 goals on the day to keep things interesting in Charlottesville. Next, it was Taylor Reagan getting in on the action. And once again, here's the second of her 3rd goal for Casey Bear. Both teams put up 30 shots on the goal for the day, but in the end, it ended up being JMU that would make the most count. Here is Haggerty with her goal, and the Dukes, they end up winning 15-10. Now to the baseball diamond, the Dukes taking on William & Mary. Top 1, and Josh Jones drills that one to left, barely almost getting a home run there. Fox Simones is going to round 3rd and easily score on the RBI triple. The Dukes go up 4-0 at the end of the first. Now top 2, Simones at the plate, and there was no question about that one. He hits the home run, and the Dukes go up 5-0 early. He's going to even get a little celebration picture FaceTime at the dugout there with some of his teammates. The Dukes had 18 hits on the day. There's another one right there, and another no-doubter. I guess it was something about left field. The guys are just feeling it. The Colton Harlow, the lefty, got the start on the mound for the Dukes, but in the end, it would be Matt Marsili. He finished the game off with a strikeout right here, just absolutely gets the changeup right by the batter. The Dukes dominate in this one. They get the win, 15-3. And what a series the Caps and Columbus Blue Jackets are having in round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Columbus stole the first 2 games in D.C., shocking the Caps twice in overtime. Tuesday, it was a similar script as the Caps went up early, and then Columbus forced another overtime game. But in the end, it was Lars Eller's goal in second overtime that would give the Caps new life in the series. They were back in action last night. The Caps now trying to even this series, and hopefully this time try and do it before everybody's bedtime. Early in the first period, the Caps were on the move again, but Sergei Bobrovsky, like he's been doing all series, with an unreal save. Luckily, Kuznetsov gets the rebound and gives it to Wilson to get the goal. The Caps go up early 1-0. And here's Bobrovsky again, stopping everything the Caps are throwing at him. But no other Columbus player could corral the puck, and the Caps get the putback to go up 2-0. Now, the start of the 3rd period. This time, the captain, Ovi, with the goal, his 3rd of the series, to give the Caps the late 3-0 lead. There would be a little garbage time goal action for the Columbus Blue Jackets late, as that one gets by Brandon Holtley, who's actually been incredible since replacing Brubauer in Game 3. And the Caps seal the deal there with the empty net. They get the win 4-1. Well, ballparks across the country are known to bring entire cities together on a beautiful day during the MLB season. And even in a small town like Harrisonburg, Bries TV's Ellie White shows us the same can happen. just on a slightly smaller scale.
I'm here at Purcell Park for opening day of Harrisonburg Little League. Guys, what is your team name?
Opening day isn't only about the sport itself, but about bringing an entire community together to celebrate. From good food to cool refreshments, opening day was just the start of something special.
1, 2, 3, Orioles!
The opening day is our best day. It's our biggest day. All the teams are here, the players are here, they're ready to play ball. Beautiful day like today, it makes it even better. So today is probably my favorite day of the year.
Did you have a good time today? What was your favorite part?
Eating bubble gum. The games don't get started until they throw out the first pitch, even if it's a little outside of the strike zone.
I was not loose, but I threw close to a strike. But yeah, I was not loose and didn't even know it was coming.
Every evening from now until June, you can catch all the games at Purcell Park where the Little Leaguers are focused on more than just winning.
When it comes down to it, they're all friends, they all go to the same school, they're all coming to play ball.
Reporting for Bries TV Sports Wrap, I'm Ellie White.
Thanks, Ellie. It was perfect weather Saturday for opening day, and the Little Leaguers, they took full advantage. That's it for sports this week. Back to you guys.
This is Bries TV.
The students who put on this protest have 3 goals in mind, according to Bries. JMU setting a limit on OSARP's investigation. The case is being heard by qualified professionals, and for students who are responsible for sexual assault to be expelled. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caitlin. Today is the 19th anniversary of the Columbine shooting. On April 20th, 1999, 2 students, Eric Harris and Derek Klebold, walked into the Colorado High School and opened fire on their classmates. This resulted in the deaths of 12 students and 1 teacher. 23 students were injured. Almost a year before the attack, parents of a fellow student filed a report with the sheriff stating that Harris threatened to kill their daughter and said he would like to kill people. Columbine ranks as one of the deadliest episodes of school violence and one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history.
If no one else is going to change it, it's the students who have to and the young people who have to.
Students from more than 2,500 schools are staging a walkout today to demand that lawmakers take action against gun violence.
Former First Lady Barbara Bush passed away on Wednesday. The 92-year-old was the First Lady to former President George H.W. Bush and mother to former President George W., as well as former Florida Governor Jeb. Flags were lowered at half-mast to honor her memory.
I'm so blessed to be her son. She taught us to serve others. She taught us to be civil. She taught us to love your family with your heart and soul, and she and my dad basically didn't have to tell us how to do that. They just acted on their love for 75 years.
Many politicians shared their condolences on social media. Although she's gone, her legacy lives on in her civil service, including a children's hospital in Maine. The Barbara Bush Children's Hospital is the only children's hospital in the state. Each summer, Barbara visited kids there to read them books. The Barbara Bush Library reflects her literacy advocacy. The building was hit, however, by Hurricane Harvey, which flooded the first floor and destroyed its books, but the library's county hopes it can reopen sometime in May. Barbara's funeral will be held this Saturday at St. Martin's Church in Texas. Some community members have tried to change the city's mind about sheltering services offered in Harrisonburg. Bries TV reporter Grace James tells us more about one shelter's response to the situation.
During the City Council meeting April 10th, the city decided to reject the proposal made by the Anisura Veterinary Center. Despite petitions made by community members, Anisura, which claims to be a no-kill shelter, proposed that it provide the city's sheltering services instead of the Rockingham SPCA, which has a higher kill rate. Although the city decided to stay with the Rockingham SPCA, Anisura supports the city's decision in altering its current contract with the RHSPCA. The new contract will set benchmarks for RHSPCA as they work towards raising their save rate to 80%, an improvement from their current save rate of around 50%. While the proposal was not accepted, Kelsey Clare, over community outreach and engagement, says Anisura's most important goal was to decrease the amount of unnecessary deaths among animals.
Bottom line, we're in this for the animals. If more animal lives are getting saved, we're good.
In the meantime, Anna Sierra will continue to educate the community and grow their adoption program. 600 animals are on track to be adopted this year, an increase in number from the 500 dogs adopted last year. With the help of JMU students fostering and advocating for animals, Anna Sierra is optimistic about the future. Reporting for Bries TV, I'm Grace James.
In other news, Starbucks will be closing over 8,000 U.S. stores May 29th in order to educate its employees on racial bias. This is in response to the outrage over the arrest of 2 black men for trespassing inside a Starbucks in Philadelphia last week. Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson met with the 2 men on Monday and apologized for the mistreatment by the store manager who called the police. Since this incident, a video dating back to January 23rd has surfaced from a man named Brandon Ward, who was refused access to a California Starbucks bathroom. Ward was told he needed to make a purchase before he could use the code to get to the restroom. However, this was not the case for another customer.
And I'm like, well, look, can I make a purchase after I use the restroom? Basically, they're like, no, you must make a purchase before, and then we'll give you the code. He goes straight to the cashier. Hey, I need the code. They grant him the code.
Ward's video ends with him being escorted out of the store by security after he attempted to confront the cashier. When asked about Ward's video, the company's CEO refused to comment. You may have seen a colorful addition to Court Square recently. Bries TV reporter Grace James is back to tell us about the brand new mural being painted outside the Artful Dodger.
The nonprofit organization has been painting the mural since early April, with the help and collaboration from local Harrisonburg community members and students, who are the source for the mural's inspiration.
Art is a language we all speak is emblematic for me of the experience I've had with art and the youth have had with art, and part of the why of what our organization is and part of the why behind the mural. Hands and paintbrushes are to represent how we make meaning of our life through art, and we create our own world through art and through that lens, if that's something we want to do, that we can use art to make meaning of our world and also shape our world.
Reese estimates that at least 100 community members came out to make their contributions to the mural.
And, for years to come, the people who did help paint will be able to say, like, I painted that. Like, I have agency in this creation, in this project, and doing something in the community that I think is important. And so that response has been a little overwhelming, but also wonderful and amazing.
Despite rumors swirling around about JMU's University Program Board suing Ty Dolla $ign for not showing up to his concert on Wednesday, UPB's Public Relations Director Katie Miller tells us in a statement, while it is certainly disappointing to us and for the JMU student body, the idea of UPB suing an artist is just salacious gossip. UPB said on social media that the cancellation was due to Ty Dolla $ign's travel complications, and they will now have to refund all ticket sales. After months of preparation and hours of stage setup Wednesday morning, the cancellation came as a surprise to the organization. The opening act, Ella May, did make it to Harrisonburg and performed for fans in the parking lot. UPB is not going to reschedule the concert. But speaking of concerts, reporter Anna Saunders is in the studio with a special musical guest. Anna?
Thanks, Olivia. Joining us today in the studio is local singer-songwriter Josh Turner. Josh, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you've been performing for a while now. You've been in a couple bands. When did this passion for music begin for you?
Kind of a funny story. I guess I moved from New York to Virginia, and I live in Marshall, if anyone's ever heard of that. Usually people haven't. And it's just a really, really small town, and there's no way to get good internet or TV, so I was just kind of sitting at home bored. And so my dad was like, hey, I think you should learn guitar. And from then on, I just decided to take it up. And I didn't really think I'd ever perform in front of people. And so I played an open mic, and I kind of was not gonna do it, and then I did it. And it was I knew I was supposed to play music at that point. I played, and then people were just listening, and it was a way I communicated with people that was different from anything I've ever experienced.
That's so awesome. And how do you plan to use that passion in your future career?
I really hope to start a music therapy clinic, and I think that would be really cool and a way for me to give back and understand my gifts and hopefully give back to the community. It's a really powerful thing. Like those people, like when I had that experience where like I could communicate with someone better than ever, it's like when you work with like music therapy patients, it's their way to communicate, and they haven't in like years efficiently. So I really hope that I can do that at some later point.
All right, and what song will you be singing for us today?
In Your Atmosphere by John Mayer, one of my favorite artists.
Awesome. All right, well, I will let you do that, your thing. This is Josh Turner covering John Mayer's In Your Atmosphere.
Sleepwalking in Hollywood. I'm gonna steer clear, burn up in your atmosphere. I'm gonna steer clear, so die if I saw you, die if I couldn't see you there, see you there. I don't think I wanna go to LA anymore. I don't think I wanna go to LA anymore. Get lost on Boulevard at night. I don't know what's like. Say I love you, take a ride. If I couldn't see never unite.
This is Bries TV.
I'm here with Mary Landy and Anna Kaplan. Thank you both for being with me here, speaking to me today. So I wanted to talk to you guys about what brings you out here today and why silence.
So I'm here to remind JMU that as a student body, we do not accept sexual assault as part of our campus, and that we'll no longer tolerate for it to be swept under the rug.
Yeah, and over my 3 years, I've seen too many people go through the Title IX process and not feel protected by JMU, not feel safe on campus. And you see students around the country stepping up to challenge the institutions that are failing them. And we love JMU, so why shouldn't we aid in that effort and make JMU a better place?
And it's silenced because JMU has tried to silence victims and survivors, and so we're showing them even when silenced, we can see it together.
And what do you hope to gain from this protest today?
So we have 3 main goals. One of them is that there's immediate expulsion for people found of rape, assaulters. And we also hope that we'll have more professionals on the board deciding cases. And then our last one is that there's a time limit on a case.
Yeah, and we also are hoping to just really keep the conversation going. We're talking about having a page on Facebook that keeps regular updates of what's going on with Title IX, what's going on with OSARP, because it's so easy for these protests, for these issues to come up and then be swept under the rug. JMU's a big institution. People forget, summertime comes, but we won't be silenced now, and we won't be silenced until we graduate, and we hope people will carry that torch and keep the conversation going.
Well, thank you so much for both speaking with me today. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caitlin. The state of Virginia has seen an 11% increase in distracted driving since 2017. Caitlin Merriman actually tells us more about what the state is doing to try and reduce that percent.
Oftentimes, before we even fasten our seatbelts, we pick up our devices and don't think twice. But this is not the only distraction that drivers are using before they put their vehicles in drive. April now marks the month of distracted driving awareness to try and educate the public of the severe dangers these distractions can cause.
I've got a number of clients who've been seriously injured because they weren't paying attention.
Distracted driving is not the only type of danger to the public, especially in college towns. Distracted walking also comes into play.
I feel like just this day and age, I'm always on my phone. Even though I shouldn't be on it while I'm driving, like 99% of the time, like it just happens, like subconsciously.
According to DMV, there are 3 types of distracted driving: visual, manual, and cognitive, all of which are included when it comes to texting and driving.
It's 70 miles an hour, it's 100 feet per second. So if you're looking away for 3 seconds, you've covered a football field.
Next time you get behind the wheel, keep your eyes on the road and off distractions. Reporting for Bries TV in Harrisonburg, I'm Caitlin Merriman.
New developments have emerged regarding the death of beloved pop culture icon Prince. Nearly 2 years after his death, the Carver County attorney announced that no criminal charges will be filed in connection to the star's accidental fentanyl overdose. The attorney stated that there is no evidence to suggest that Prince knew he was taking counterfeit Vicodin pills that contain fentanyl. The Minnesota physician who treated Prince at the time has agreed to pay a $30,000 fine to settle allegations that he prescribed the substances knowing that they would be used by Prince. The question of how Prince obtained these pills remains unanswered.
Our friends across the pond are gearing up for a royal celebration. The United Kingdom is in full preparation mode for the royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Over 600 guests have been invited to the ceremony. The ceremony will take place in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, followed by a private reception at St. George's Hall. In other news, singer-songwriters Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles are to co-host this year's Tony Awards. The 2 longtime friends made the announcement on Tuesday in a Twitter video together. Both artists have been previously nominated for Tony Awards. However, it will be the pair's first time hosting an award show of any kind. The Tonys air June 10th on CBS. For many kids, their favorite holidays are Christmas or Halloween, but for one little boy, it's trash day. Crew Smith from Iowa loves 2 things, donuts and garbage trucks. The 3-year-old looks forward to trash day every week.
Week revolves around Thursday. That is how we have learned our days of the week. Garbage truck day, and that's what we live for.
On the big day, Crew dresses in his finest to meet his heroes, and his excitement brings smile to their faces.
On Sunday, the Smithsonian National Zoo welcomed a new family member. Kalea gave birth to a baby male gorilla named Moki, which translates to junior. According to the Washington Post, when Kalea was brought to the zoo in 2015, she was placed on birth control. Later, she was taken off the birth control and mated with Smithsonian silverback gorilla Baraka. Moki is her first child.
A new Lavender Farm is underway. Located right outside of Harrisonburg, it will soon be welcoming visitors. Bries TV's Chelsea Church shows us all it has to offer.
I'm here at the Mason-Dixon Lavender Farm, where owners Ron and Pam are preparing for their grand opening next month.
While there is still work to be done, the location and amenities show great potential. Acres of lavender bushes, all planted and maintained by Ron and Pam Winters, lay under the skyline of the Blue Ridge Mountains. The couple will also be offering walking trails, animal petting, and a U-cut area where you can pick out your own bouquet to take home.
You can leave all your troubles behind and just enjoy walking around and seeing everything. It's just peaceful. You can hear nature.
In addition to Mason-Dixon's sweet scents and beautiful scenery, the husband and wife duo are also making efforts to ensure that they can be a sustainable, organic farm.
Making the best quality products is a big challenge. Learning all about lavender, learning all about what the different plants do.
And before you leave, make sure to say hello to Mason and Dixon, who are the faces of the farm and the inspiration behind their stinky dog line that they created so your fur friend can smell as sweet as you. Reporting for Bries TV in Elkton, I'm Chelsea Church.
Well, Matt, I have to say it has been a pleasure doing the show with you throughout the semester.
For those of you that don't know, this is Olivia's last show as she's graduating, heading to the Peace Corps.
Heading to the Peace Corps, heading to Africa. Hopefully I'll have some Wi-Fi so I can watch you next year as you will be back.
Well, I know, but it has been a good run, and I'm happy to say that we worked together. It's been a good time.
Yes, and thank you all for watching us throughout this semester. That is all for us today.
We'll see you next year on Bries TV.